Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us on this lovely day. We have in studio with us right now Woodrow Wagner, who is now the chairman of the Victoria Democratic Party. Great to have you.
Thank you so much.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
Great.
Thanks for being here. Great to be here.
So you recently took on this position. It was Pat Talley before. What interests you in this position?
I think the opportunity, Ozzy, to engage our community and get them excited about trying to give something back to this community. I had the pleasure of being born and raised in Victoria, and this community gave me so many wonderful opportunities. And it would be great to find ways to bring those same kind of opportunities for other folks, whether they be young, old, or whatever else. So I think that's what interested me most, was the opportunity to engage this community.
And it's so important to engage. And I do want to bring this up, this email, this quote that you brought up when we were chatting. You said this in quotes: "The #1 priority of the Victoria County Democratic Party is local community engagement." And that is so critical. There it is right there. So how do you hope to give back to your community?
Well, local community engagement is something that it's not just for Democrats, it's not just for Republicans, but it's for all of us. I think a great example of that is what we do on the local level with the school board. The school board members are not partisans. They don't run as Democrats or Republicans. They might vote in certain ways, but they're trying to do things to improve the lives of everybody in Victoria, whether they're Republican or Democrats. So for the Democratic Party, one of our big issues is equity in education, to make sure that all students, regardless of where they live, regardless of what their socioeconomic class is, that they have the same access to quality education as any other students. And so in Victoria right now, we're looking at some new bond measures to try to provide that equity for schools like Stroman and Mission Valley that don't have that equity. And so in November, we're going to be having a bond election. And regardless of how people feel about that, I would encourage folks to engage in that process, to research and see what the options are and what options are going to best provide equity and fairness for all people in Victoria. So that's an example of community engagement.
And speaking about equity and fairness, now when I was looking on social media, I did see that one of the things that you guys want to do, the Democratic Party would like to do, is create visibility and the party reorganize it. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, absolutely. Part of it is in the last year and a half of COVID, we just haven't had the opportunity to really do anything, to be engaged in the community, go to meetings and talk to people. So now that COVID is a little less intense, we're trying to get out there more. One of the ways we're trying to get out there more is organize. We have 35 voting precincts in Victoria County. Our goal is to have a precinct chair for each of those 35 voting precincts. And so that's one of our big priorities. Right when I started, we had about 6 or 7 of these precinct chairs. Now we're up to about 12 or 13. So that gives us the opportunity to have more engagement with the community in every neighborhood in Victoria County.
Absolutely. One of those things is voter turnout.
Right.
That is so critical. I would just want to take a look at these numbers before we wrap it up. Now, voter turnout is absolutely important. So let's take a look at these numbers. This is data provided by the state, just to give you some context. In 2020, there were 56,612 registered voters in Victoria County. Now, these numbers that you're looking, this is for the 2020 election. So there's some information for you. Thank you so much for being here. You did amazing. I appreciate your time.
Right.
Thank you so much. All right, don't go anywhere. Coming up, we'll actually talk with Keep Victoria Beautiful and their upcoming initiatives.